Welcome inside the Wayne State Fieldhouse, the home of the Motor City Cruise. We're here with head coach DJ Bakker, getting to know him a little bit. He's been around the organization. You were with the Pistons as an assistant coach last year. Yep. You've been in the organization, but this new role as the head coach of the G League's Motor City Cruise has to be an awesome feeling, and you were appointed earlier this year.
Yeah, it's I still remember this is my fourth year in the Pistons organization, and I still remember early on talks of the excitement of trying to move the team from Grand Rapids to Detroit. And at that time, we still had the practice facility was still up north as well. So to be here going into year 4 and see the transformation of everything downtown Detroit is really exciting.
You're a part of this organization, and you've been a part of the Dwayne Casey way. Yeah. And so that has to help getting the culture adapted, not only here in the Pistons as you have the last 4 years as an assistant, but now here with the Cruise. You understand it, and you've known it for a long time. What is the Dwayne Casey way?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm so fortunate to just be, this is my 6th year with him. I was with him in 2 years in Toronto, and just kind of learning why he's been so successful his last 30-plus years of coaching. I would say he's proven to rebuild teams and develop young talent, and did it at a high level in Toronto, and obviously in the process of doing it right now. So just seeing his work habits, teaching the attention to detail to the young guys, the professionalism, right? Learning the game at a, there's always going to be that learning curve when they come into the game as rookies, but shortening the learning curve, teaching the fundamentals of the game, but just understanding the speed and the physicality of the game as well. So
as a head coach, player development, that's been your bag. That's what you've done. Now you're getting into game situations, and just talk about understanding those two differences, and as a head coach, how it all comes together for you here in year 1. How's that transition been, and meshing those two?
Yeah, no, that's great. So I think player development in the G League, even when you're the head coach, is still first and foremost so important, just because they obviously have so many young players here that still need to develop. So I think that is why it was kind of a fit for myself, is it's still heavy on player development, but especially the last 3 years, I've helped Coach Casey a lot with the offense. So it's, I was able to get a good look of, helping implement different things and different, parts of our offense, concepts and style of play. So he gave me, the one thing about him over the last 6 years is he's allowed me to grow each and every year, and he's given me more and more responsibilities each and every year, from a scouting standpoint, from a teaching standpoint, from film sessions, whatever it might be. So he's the type of coach that will let you grow and develop. So if I was if it was a coach where he just pigeonholed you and you only can do one thing and that's all I want from you, it'd probably be, really difficult. But he's an incredible leader and allows the coaches under him to grow and develop. So I feel like he's prepared me for, running an offense and leading a team, and, still honing in on the player development part of the game. So he's been great with that.
With the offense, and that's obviously been a big part of what's been featured with Dwayne Casey and some of the things in his past.
Yeah.
Your offense has gotten off to a fast start this year. I know it's one game, but you get 140 points in game 1. Are you seeing some of these offensive principles coming to life early? You must be excited for that output in game 1 and the victory on the road in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, the guys were very unselfish. They played really hard, shared the ball, all things that we're encouraging them to do. The G League is so unique because it's not like the NBA where you've been working with them for the last 3 months, and then you start training camp. We had the draft on a Saturday, we had an opening team meeting on a Monday, and 12 days later we're playing our first game. So you have to really, there's a balance there of not overloading them with information, but teaching them, the core fundamentals and the principles of the offense. So they've done an incredible job. We have some, Derek Walton and Saban Lee and Luka Garza, Jamarco Pickett, some of those guys that have either been in the pros or been with the Pistons program already. They set the tone of really expediting the learning process for the other guys that are new to the Motor City Cruise and the Detroit Pistons organization. So they've done a great job of getting everyone adjusted to that.
What a core. And we saw the core on Saturday. I mean, you talked about it. Garza and Walton and Lee goes for 42. And, this seems to be a team that's been built with a purpose. Yeah. And it's come together quickly. Do you expect this to kind of carry out throughout the year?
One thing I've learned about the G League is just you got to be adaptable to roster assignment, and whether we have Pistons players be assigned to the Motor City Cruise, or if they call somebody up as well. So I'd say just understanding from a big picture perspective of being adaptable. But I expect when those guys are all with us and we have them, like I expect them to lead. I expect them to show that, they are definitely future Pistons players, but right now they're in the process of, the developmental piece, right? And there's organizational support for them, as you could tell from the facilities that we're in. And so the support is there, and them coming down to get the in-game reps. Because right now, right, like if they sit on the bench for the Pistons, they don't get those 30 minutes of game reps.
Sure.
So coming here allows them to get the in-game reps. And then what I try to do is try to put them in position on offense and defense that mimic what they're going to see with the Pistons, and try to get them to be full-time rotational players for the Pistons.
You talk about the digs. I mean, this is a new facility.
Yeah.
How cool. Wayne State
Yeah.
Fieldhouse. And you're going to play here tomorrow night. You haven't had a lot of time to adjust to this place, but so far, what do you think?
It's incredible. I'm blown away. As soon as I walked, every room I walked in, I just got a big smile like, wow, this is incredible. Then I walked in the players' locker room. I'm like, the coaches' locker room, the coaches' conference room, the court, all the signage, the setup for the game. Every time I just turned the corner, I was like just in awe. So, I mean, they knocked it out of the park with it. It's the organizations, like I said, their commitment to making this a successful G League franchise. They put everything on the table for it. So I'm really excited for this to be our home court. I'm thrilled about it.
Must be just so nice to have the support from your president and GM Rob Murphy.
Yeah.
And that's just trickled on down. It's been a nice transition for you, as you've talked about off air.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rob's been great. And talked to Josh Bartelstein earlier, and obviously he's been very hands-on with this building and the move and everything. So everybody's all in on it. We're excited.
Opening night is coming up,
Yeah.
and it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is a big night for this organization, the Pistons organization, the Cruise organization, the city of Detroit, and Wayne State.
Yep.
And, of course, DJ Bakker and his club. What's your feelings right now as you're about 24 hours away from tipping this thing off?
In a good way, in a healthy way, I feel a tremendous amount of responsibility because of the players that we have, right? These guys are currently with me and getting game reps here, and their goal and the organization's goal is to develop them to become, full-time Pistons players, right? And so I just see how much the organization supports it. I know how much Coach Casey has invested into it and his belief in it. I've seen it, how it was done in Toronto, and now how much he cares about it right now for our young guys. So I would say I wake up every day with just two things, like a tremendous amount of determination to make this a successful experience for the organization and for our players and for the community so they can come out and see a successful team. And then I just feel a tremendous amount of responsibility to our players and to the organization and to coach to make sure their expectations get executed. So I wake up every day with my mind focused on those two things.
You're a Northwest Indiana guy. You grew up in Crown Point, which is like almost Chicago burbs.
Yeah.
I would assume there's somewhat of a rivalry. You're a sports fan from Chicago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a Chicago sports fan in that area.
Yeah.
This is Detroit. Are we cool with each other?
Yeah, I think it took me a minute at first. Normally when I move to a city, like when I moved to Dallas or when I moved to Toronto, like I was all in. Like, I'll go to a football game or a hockey game or a baseball game. Here it took me a minute, but I tell you what, me and my family, we love living here. We have a great community here. The fans, this is like, the fans are so passionate for any sports. I've been to Lions and Tigers games and Red Wings game, and it's a passionate fan base. It's a great group of people. It's a phenomenal place to live. We absolutely love it here. So it took a minute to adjust at first, but then once we did, we love it. We love it.
Welcome back to the Motor City. You've
Yeah.
been here a while, but in a new position, the first seat of the bench.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best of luck this year, and we're happy to be next to you all along the way for 25 games. DJ, best of luck, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. We look forward to it.
As DJ Bakker, the head coach of the Motor City Cruise, as we get ready for Game 1 on Thursday night against the Milwaukee Hurt.